Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Color X Malice in Okazaki's route. And we're in Chapter 2. And we were just investigating the crime scene from, what, July? Is that the one that we're working on with him? Anyway. So yeah. So I kind of understand now why the guide recommended, like, Okazaki first. This way it's in a timeline, July, but I do think so far from what we've seen, Enomoto is the best one to do first because there's not as much spoilery stuff. You know, you get a little more spoil, and like, so obviously we haven't gone any further than this, so I don't know how much this spoils other things, but I feel like so far we've done the right thing. So, I appreciate the suggestions on that, because I was going to do him before Sasazuka, but I think it's kind of so far flowed really nice, so I get that this might be like the first case, July, and you're doing it in the timeline, but depending on what's revealed in here, I think it would have spoiled probably so much stuff. Because I wouldn't have wanted to do Sasazuka's before Enomoto's, you know? Enomoto's, didn't have a lot of spoilery stuff. You had that feeling about Akito, right? Like, guys. And then you knew in Sasazuka's route, and that would have ruined the whole thing. So, prime example, I'm never gonna let it go. I can't let it go. Anyway. Plus, like in this one, right? We went down the bad ending and Hana killed us. That would have ruined Enomoto's route, right? Because you would have known right away, oh, she's bad. I don't want to know that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess there could be other things because it wasn't Sasazuka's route, right? Where, like, we went to the park and there were those two kids and the one girl started killing us. So maybe that would be spoilery for something else. For someone else. We'll see those characters, but I don't know, I just really feel like if we had done this first, then it would have been like, it wouldn't have been as nice to know that Hana, you know what I mean? It would have spoiled it that Hana was the bad guy. And I don't know, I just liked that twist. It was like, oh, I mean, I kind of suspected her. I was like, it's totally her. Like, it's totally fucking her. But like, it was a little bit more fun being like, yeah, I guess that was right. Then we just knew because we saw this, you know? Anyway. So back to investigating. The crime had occurred in Kabukicho. There was a lot of foot traffic at the time. I cannot read. Oh, okay. So, oh, right. We have to do the, oh. Crime scene situation. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm just going to go in the order it shows on the guide. We're supposed to do everything twice. According to witness statements, a woman screamed, and then there was confusion. A man attacked her while calling out, "Let's die together." Then Ogata, a passerby, jumped in and grappled with Shimizu. We've covered this already. It says while they were grappling, Shimizu dropped the knife. Ogata picked it up and used it against Shimizu. I guess if he was on drugs, it'd make sense for him to be disarmed or drop his weapon, but this feels like it went too smoothly. All accounts agree that a man attacked a woman, and the person that stepped in was also attacked and used the knife to stab the initial assailant. Oh, right. So let's do this again. Same spot. Oh, look at this. One of the statements is a little different. The passerby Ogata twisted Shimizu's wrist? What if this is how he got Shimizu to drop the knife? These accounts are not necessarily reliable. Another one here. It says that Ogata said something when he stepped in to protect the woman. There's no record of what he said, though. We won't get anything else out of this. How do you know? We could click it. Let's examine everything twice. Let's see. What's the next thing? State of the body. So I'm assuming that's this. Yeah. The cause of death was blood loss resulting from a knife wound to the heart. Only one wound, deep in the heart. He probably died instantly. He didn't even have time to say anything. It probably looked like an instant kill to anyone in the area. That's what bugs me. Huh? Let's keep reading. I mean, the thing is if you think about it, there's a little bit of spoileriness in Enomoto's route because you talk to Ogata, right? So, like, but I don't know. And we already know that Rika is, like, involved. But we know, like... I mean, Enomoto's is going to kind of spoil it because we know it's substitution murder. So we know what the deal is. That Rika is going to murder someone else because Adonis took care of her problem. Like, so even if we hadn't seen... I mean... I guess, like I said, it's a little spoilery, but... Again... You get nothing out of Enemo. You get, like, just some vague things. Like, here's just an overview. So, I mean, yeah, there's going to be things that overlap that kind of spoil a little bit of others, but I feel like he spoiled the least amount. So it's probably the best one to do first. I don't know. It just keeps going on in the back of my mind, like, well, you know, because we kind of dealt with this a little bit. But, anyway. There's an addendum, too. The autopsy also turned up some drugs in the victim's system. According to Sugawara's testimony, the victim said, "Let's die together," before attacking, and so he probably wasn't in a sound mental state. When he attacked, Ogata, a passerby, jumped into the fray, and bystanders witnessed the melee. I wonder if he said anything. Huh, are you suggesting that Ogata said something to further provoke Shimizu? Maybe we should have done everything once and then done, because, like, now I feel like we kind of already went over this. But... He wasn't in sound mind to begin with, so Ogata getting involved just provoked him further. Well, it would be an understandable reaction if he thought Ogata was getting in the way. Maybe Ogata being there made things worse when Shimizu was already under the influence, and that pushed him over the edge? I don't think that makes sense. Okay. Oh, hold on. Go away. Okay, so we already did state of the body, the ground. Oh, ground. Okay, here's ground. There's a manhole cover. There wasn't the typical coin or Roman numeral at the crime scene. Yes, that's why no one thought to connect it to X Day at first. But later, the coin and Roman numeral 6 were discovered at the victim's home. Some within the police believe that Adonis took advantage of the situation and claimed responsibility for it. If we assume that it was completely unrelated to X Day, that would mean Adonis had to immediately locate the victim's home after his death and plant the evidence before the police showed up. It would be the only way to spin the accident as one of their own attacks. But that's not very realistic, is it? Yeah, since April, Adonis has been very deliberately staging these incidents. It wouldn't be necessary to latch onto an unplanned homicide. So that means they would have had to have planned every part of this out from the very beginning. Oop, round again. Did you notice something about the terrain? I feel like we might have overlooked something. There weren't any lost belongings at the scene. All they found were Shimizu's wristwatch and the knife he used. Wait, what's this garbage-looking thing in the photo? It's just trash. Ugh. Spacey, I'm pretty sure that the photo was taken for evidence preservation, and that forensics scoured every nook and cranny. Evidence preservation, to preserve the scene of the crime by cooperating with forensics so that evidence is not tampered with after a crime is committed. You're right. Sorry, I was just spinning my wheels. No need to rush. What's important isn't that we find mistakes, but take stock of all the information there is. Okay. What's this thing over here? Garbage? Why did I have to do that? The murder weapon. Oh, that's... Okay, this. I was like, the murder weapon. I was like, oh, that makes sense if you ever... I'm like, I'm literally like looking around here like, murder. Oh, yeah, over here. Okay. The weapon was a 15-centimeter knife. Shimizu owned it. He was carrying it, presumably to attack Sugawara. The only fingerprints on the weapon were those of the victim, Shimizu, and the assailant, Ogata. And no fingerprints for Sugawara, it looks like. Wouldn't that be obvious? I'm just interested in the possibilities. Let's keep reading. Blood on the knife belonged to two people, Shimizu and Ogata, so Ogata was injured too. Because he tried to stop Shimizu from going wild. Defensive wound on his arm. Only one, huh? Wouldn't there normally be more than that? One is too few in a scenario like this. It sounds like Shimizu was wildly swinging the weapon. I wonder how Ogata managed to disarm Shimizu in his enraged state. And that's written in the interview report. So 2 sources of blood on the knife means that Sugawara wasn't injured by that attack. She did well to avoid it. That means Ogata completely defended her when she was just inches from getting hurt. Murder weapon has been added. We'll check that out after. Okay. Oh my god, guys. I am so fucking dumb. I'm using the, like, up-down trackpad thing. Like, because my trackpad does, and that's what I was expecting. But then I was like, oh, and I had moved the whole entire game. We have had to do these, and I have been using the up, down, left, right arrow keys to do this, and I didn't realize I could just use the fucking left joystick. Oh my god, I feel so dumb right now. I mean, at least I tried the trackpad first. You know, I was like, oh, this isn't working. And then I was like, oh, okay, we have to do this. Wow, that's silly. And then just now I was like, oh, oh, I need a minute for my stupidity. That's amazing. Anyway, the deceased Shimizu was aged 29, unemployed. He was suspected of stalking the same woman previously. And Rika Sugawara is aged 25, an office worker in Shinjuku. Shimizu had reportedly been stalking her for a few years. There are police records of her reporting the stalking multiple times. And there's the anti-stalking law. And it sounds like she did talk to the police, but they wouldn't act unless something actually happened. That's usually what it is. Like, well, we can't protect you unless they actually kill you. So the... Okay. Well, I guess we're just gonna die. Like... This could have all been prevented if they just did... There are all kinds of cases like that. Reports have to be prioritized. There's no helping that. Just wait till you get stalked, Okazaki. Jesus. I'm going to stalk you and see how you like it. You know. The passerby and assailant, Tomoki Ogata, is age 34 and an office worker in Shinjuku. He's changed jobs twice in the last 2 years. Probably because he was a suspect in the police abductions and murder in May. He was taken in on a mistaken arrest by the deceased officer. He was suspected of acting in revenge. He's got quite the history here. Huh? And 2 years ago, he stepped in to stop a fight on a train platform. One of the men fell onto the tracks and died. That's why Ogata was arrested. And in May, the cop that arrested him was killed. So Ogata was suspected again and thought to be acting in revenge. He had an alibi, though. But he doesn't for this one. Oh, look at that. And in July this year, he happened to stumble upon a stalker attacking a woman and killed him to protect her. I like how he uses air quotes. But he's, you know, I don't know if he's really saying it using air quotes, but I'm just imagining he does because that's amazing. I like that. He's like, protecting her. And we're like, you say that like you don't believe it. Quite heroic of him. That connects him to 3 deaths. He's been under suspicion before, which caused him to repeatedly change jobs. Yet he jumped in to stop an attacker once again. What if he's really just motivated by justice? But it says that he has no prior association with Shimizu or Sugawara. This would make a lot more sense if he did. It isn't easy to go this far for someone you've never seen or met before. All right. Let's look at these. July autopsy. The cause of death was loss of blood. He fell on the street after being stabbed in the heart by Tomoki Ogata. And how did he know to stab him in the heart? I mean, like, usually, like, how do you direct stab to the heart? I mean, perfect shot the first time. I'm just saying, right? I mean, we obviously know what happened for reals, but anyway. And was deemed to have died almost instantaneously. The toxicology report indicated recent drug usage, so it is assumed he was not in a sound state of mind. July, murder weapon. The 15-centimeter blade was carried by Shimizu. Shimizu was swinging it around and kept screaming that he and the woman should die together. Ogata was passing by and intervened. During the scuffle, he took Shimizu's knife and attacked him with it. Fingerprints and blood on the weapon were matched to Shimizu and Ogata. July. Suspects. The woman that Shimizu was terrorizing was someone he had stalked for years. She had come to consult the police about the situation several times. According to the investigation, she had been stalked both at home and her workplace. Her stalker had done things to her belongings and harassed her on a significant level. Ogata had no connection with Shimizu or Sugawara. He literally only passed by. However, due to Ogata being suspected for the May X-Day incident, he is under scrutiny for possible ties to Adonis. Okay. When we finished looking through the files, Okazaki muttered something. This is strange. Yeah, as we'd looked through the files, several problems had arisen. If this really was an X-Day killing, then there had to be a clear reason to kill Shimizu. Assuming that was true, then the scenario wasn't an accident and was full of holes. Sugawara was completely unscathed by the attack. The assailant, Ogata, was a passerby. Ogata disarmed Shimizu, and Shimizu was on drugs. There was a nagging feeling that the entire incident had been set up. Okazaki, the part you think is strange is... I mean, that part I think is strange, but that's also the right answer. That Ogata killed Shimizu with a single thrust to the heart, right? Because, I mean, oh, Shimizu was on drugs! No, I mean, that's like... Okay, he's a stalker, and he's ranting about killing her. Probably on drugs. And if they did a toxicology report and there was like, there were no drugs in his system. That would have been shocking. But, didn't we just say this? Obviously, again, we already know that it was a setup. We know, because Enomoto's route. But still, I mean, hello. Yeah, I'm impressed. You have good instincts. I thought it was something that was easy to notice if you read the files closely. Maybe, but there's a lot of confusing information. I'm impressed that you picked that out. I'm happy to be complimented, but does he really think I'm that thoughtless? They all kind of do. I feel like it does. It is nice how her personality changes a little to kind of fit the guy that you're with. Like, she was kind of adorable with Enomoto. She was like, ugh! Sasuzuka, which I loved, because that's 100% me, like, blah, blah, blah. Ugh! Why are you such a dick? I love you. But this one's weird, because she's like, you're always insulting. Huh. Still not sure about him. Like, because even she's not sure about him. She's like, he's complimenting me, but I think it's like a backhanded compliment, and I'm not really sure how to feel right now. And that's Okazaki 100%. I'm not sure how I feel. Like, I don't know. You have pretty eyes, but you're also a little strange and spooky. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Yeah, I had mixed feelings about it. I also have mixed feelings about this. Sorry, that's not what I meant to imply. Okazaki's expression clouded, as if he had read something from my face. This stood out to me personally because I'm in the SP. I was just surprised you had the same perspective. What do you mean by an SP perspective? Well, why don't we go over how the assailant, Ogata, claims that his act was in defense of Sugawara. Justified self-defense indicates unintended harm to an assailant as a result of defensive action during an emergency. Yeah, the question of whether it was justified or unjustified is key to deciding whether this was murder. Okazaki nodded and continued. A lot of facts would make more sense if this incident was a murder orchestrated by Sugawara. She might have had a lot of pent-up hostility, but even if she didn't, it's normal to desperately protect yourself if you fear for your life. I could accept this if she wasn't responding to an unexpected attack, but was instead reacting to an anticipated outcome that went too far. She wasn't attacked by someone she didn't know, but rather someone she had prior experience with, someone who'd made death threats against her. She knew the danger she was in, so she might have been mentally ready to kill her attacker. I can understand how that feels. But the person that killed the stalker was just a random passerby, right? Yet he managed to take the frenzied attacker's knife, stab his heart, and not get badly hurt. But Ogata had a defensive wound on his arm from the knife, right? Defensive wound. Scars are a mark that are caused when a victim is defending themselves from their attacker. One example would be scratches on the arm suffered while trying to cover and protect their face. It seems like the self-defense claims focus on that point. If you ask me, it looks like he cut himself on purpose. On purpose? My God, his hands are like daddy long leg spider leg. Look at his fingers. They are like 4 feet long. It's a little scary. And his hands are so tight. Like, he's so bony. Like, his. But it's like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about this. Because, like, long, delicate fingers are lovely, right? You're like, oh, look at his long, delicate fingers. But you're like, but it's a little scary in this sense because his fingers are like 4 feet long and his hands are like so long and skin. It's freaking me out a little bit. Okazaki, you are like a ghost. You are like a goddamn skeleton ghost. I can't even. I don't know how to feel about you. I'm sure we'll love him as it goes on, but he's very strange and it keeps getting stranger. Anyway, on purpose. He only has one wound. Don't you think that's a really fortunate outcome in this situation? Shimizu was high and wildly flailing the knife around. On top of that, Ogata was also shielding Sugawara. But he got away with only a minor flesh wound. Perhaps Ogata is a composed fighter and used to wielding edged weapons. Yeah, it sounds simple to say he stabbed Shimizu in the heart, but that's really tough to do. I had learned that at the police academy too. It was hard to target the heart, slightly left of central mass, and also protected by the rib cage. I wouldn't expect a random passerby to try for such a high difficulty strike. But I guess there's always a chance that a skilled martial artist is in the area, or the guy just got one super lucky attack in. Okada's just a normal office worker, and it doesn't seem like he's trained in martial arts. In that case, it's actually suspicious that Ogata is totally unacquainted with Shimizu or Sugawara. Yeah, if Shimizu wasn't a direct threat to him, I'd expect more hesitation from Ogata's actions. When you're not assertive and confident in your moves, that leaves you open in combat. Yeah. Hearing the qualified SP officer's opinion, I emphatically agreed. Looking at the entire scenario, there were just too many things that didn't add up. I see it now. Ogata's history is too suspicious. He was mistakenly arrested 2 years ago. He was a police murder suspect in May. And then he just happened to kill a man in defense of a woman being attacked on the street? Yeah, if we take a big picture view of all this, Ogata's name comes up far too frequently. Yeah. Want to go see him? Eh? Tomoki Ogata is in detention. You can see him in person if you want. It had been right under my nose. If I were to speak with Ogata in person, I'd be able to clear up many of my suspicions. But there's something nagging at me. Considering the contents of that note, Rika Sugawara is indeed suspect. The investigators suspect Sugawara. If the burn victim this morning turned out to be her associate, it would only be a matter of time before she was brought in for questioning. I want to talk to her before that. If she had a hand in this because she felt trapped by her stalker, I had to put a stop to it. If she had nothing to do with it, then I needed to rule out my suspicions. Either way, I was worried. I want to see Ogata. Huh? You want to go too? Yeah, it's caught my interest. Okazaki, you wouldn't also happen to be investigating X Day, would you? Look at it. It's like he's got this giggle face, but it also looks like he's like licking candy off his fingers, like like he just baked cookies and he's got like raw cookie dough all over his hands. I don't know anyway. That's not it. I don't know anything about the other incidents. I just want to go with you. He looks at us creepily, but cute, and we're confused. Always. It's just that, for a while, I've been curious about the July incident. Speaking of which, they're deciding if it's excessive self-defense. I feel a little bad for him, being arrested when he acted in order to protect someone. He did protect the woman from that stalker, didn't he? Sometimes sacrifices have to be made. Right? He sounds a little spooky, right? Is he spooky? I don't know. He had said something similar before. Maybe, as an SP, he's interested in whether it really was done to protect someone. What about you? Are you going too? We're supposed to go see Ogata. I'm going to see Ogata too. Want to go together? My suspicions of Ogata had only intensified after I reviewed the information with Okazaki. What kind of person was he? Was he connected to Adonis? If I was going to uncover the truth of X Day, I had to talk to him first. I'm assuming that if you say Sugawara, right, you don't actually go see her, that he's like, oh, blah, 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 and then you go with him, but it's just, you don't get the trust points, you know? After that, I'll go to Sugawara. Let's go then. Any new information would be nice. Okazaki plainly smiled in that manner of his that never let on what he was thinking. Like, why are we going to fall for him? Just, I don't know. I lied and told Mochida I had a personal affair that I couldn't miss and left work early. I hate to do this when there's so many calls. I insisted that he call me immediately if there was an emergency call. Hey, would you mind giving me your number? Sitting next to me, the first thing that Okazaki said once the taxi started moving instantly set my heart on edge. No? It's not that. But now that I thought about it, it had been a few days since we met, and we hadn't exchanged contact info yet. Well, I don't usually exchange contact info with the people I just instantly meet. Like, hi, you're a new person. I just met you. Let's just swap contact info. Please don't. Events had turned out the way they had, but it was still a problem if I got too close to him. I won't use it for anything weird. Okay, but you say that, and I just don't trust you. I just hope you'll call for help if you're ever in any danger. I was still so panicked that I just blurted out whatever gibberish came to my mind when he continued. Are you saying that you'll protect me? Yeah, you're investigating X-Date even though it doesn't fall under your duties. I won't pry into your reasons, but it seems like you're just trying your best to protect everyone you can as a police officer. So you're going to be in danger. Even though you have Yanagi's team for support, you don't have any partners within the police. Detective work isn't my forte, but I can protect you if things ever go south. And we've seen that he can kick the shit out of someone, like, in a split fucking second. So, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, we've already seen what he can do, and I'm banking that he can save my ass, so. Okazaki, his supposed motives and gentle tone warmed my heart. So let me protect you. If anything happens, just count on me, okay? First of all, I'm a cop and I have a gun. Doesn't mean I need you to protect me. Although, again, I know. We're not as useless in this as every other game, but it's still funny. I'll protect you. I'm a bust a cap in your ass. I can protect myself. No, I can't. Who am I kidding? But at the same respect, she's a newbie. Like, she's like, I'm really good at target practice. Like, I'm really good at shooting people and shit. Like, I'm like, my aim is fucking on point. But I'm new at this job, so, and they've been around for like a year or two, so they're like professionals. Just saying. I get it. It's an okay balance. Still though, let me protect you. Just because I'm a woman, don't be a chauvinist. Don't be like that. But I've seen you kick the shit out of your partners, so I'm okay with you protecting me. I will accept it, because Lord knows I can't do that. I'm just saying. Anyway. He grinned, and I also smiled and nodded in response. Okay. Thank you. I'm happy to hear it. He had his own mission, but I was glad that Okazaki was worried about me. I was glad that a fellow police officer had affirmed what I was trying to do. I thought I had to pursue this on my own, but I've always been uneasy about it. I was just a burden to Yanagi's team. Even while I struggled to contribute, I was painfully aware of my own uselessness. But that's something you need to do now. It's something only you can do. While I was confused in front of the fire this morning, he had told me that. I realized that I had only realized my purpose in that moment because Okazaki had been there for me. He's helped me so much in such a short time. While I had people I was cooperating with, I hadn't met anyone I could consider an ally. But now that Okazaki was talking this way, I really wanted to have him as an ally. Let's exchange numbers and email addresses then. Okay. I added Kei Okazaki to my phone's list of contacts. How reassuring. We hadn't known each other long, and we still didn't know much about each other. But just today alone, he had already helped me many times. Moreover, he said I could keep relying on him. It was heartening in a way I couldn't describe. Oh, right. Don't you have to protect Yanagi's team today? That's okay. Yoshinari will cover them. They aren't your average civilians. Honestly, they don't need 24/7 protection. That's true. The fact that he understood this seemed to be an implicit acknowledgement that his protection assignment was just for pretenses. But I'm still. There's a part of me that's wondering, were they really being protected because, like, did we get that information from Minagishi or Morioka, like, where it was like, oh yeah, no, we have them under detail because, there are cops? Or was that like somebody made the assumption in Yanagi's group, or did Okazaki say, hey, we got to protect her out? I can't remember where that information came from now, and literally it's been a day, but it just makes me suspicious because I feel like it came from, like, Okazaki and he was the one who said it, and it's like, but is that the truth? Because you're strange, and I'm not really sure what's going on with you. And she's all like, I trust him and love him. And I'm like, I don't know. He might be the stabby one, is all I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, Takeru was the glasses asshole, even though he doesn't wear glasses. He was 100% the Van Helsing, right? Like, he's, like, kind of the asshole that you're like, I love you so much and you're so mean to me, but I love you. Right? And, like, Adamoto's like the, like, adorable sweet one who's just, like, can't fucking love his way out of a paper bag. Like, he can't figure anything out, and it's adorable, and you're like, oh my god, you're so cute. And I'm just thinking, well, I know Saraishi comes across as, like, the stabby one, but I'm just assuming that he's not going to be. I don't know, maybe he is a stabby one, but I'm just going with probably not, because he's outwardly like, ha 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 ha, I might use you in my experiments. And you're like, you probably won't, though, and it's probably Okazaki that's going to stab me because he's mysterious. He's that one that you're like, you say things and it seems a little like, what are you hiding? Like, what's going on with you? You're like a little mystery, right? You're like a little mystery. And those are the ones that always try to stab you, is all I'm saying, right? Like Saint Germain. Saint Germain! Like, he squinted. His eyes are always closed. And you know why? Because he's stabby. So I'm just saying Okazaki's eyes aren't always closed, but it's like see, there's things about you that you say and you're like, oh, he's not. Is he, though? I don't know. Like, my guard is up, man, is all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Something's going on with you. Don't know what it is. I don't know how I feel about you. You're spooky, and sometimes it's fun, and you're like, that's fun, because he's a little weird. Just jumping in windows and being fucking creepy and slightly strange. But at the same time, you're like, but my guard is up, man, because you're going to stab me, and I'm ready for it. Like, but I'm not ready for it. He's going to do it, and I'm not going to be ready for it. I'm not going to see it coming when it happens, is all I'm saying. Anyway. Okay, so they suspect Yanagi's team after all. If that was true, then it would be natural that he suspected me by association. Our exchanging of numbers and his offer of protection could just be part of his surveillance. Which is it? This weighs heavily on me. Okazaki's smile and his words. His voice had encouraged me this morning. I don't want to doubt him. I don't want to think that it was all lies. Even if I was under suspicion, I didn't want to just deny everything he'd done for me. Just as my spirits began to deflate, my phone vibrated in my hand. Said Okazaki. Huh? Because it had jarred me out of a taxing train of thought, I yelped in surprise. The sender of the message was none other than Okazaki, who was literally right next to me. Testing. I want to see you laugh. Stay strong. That's, oh my god, okay. Literally sitting here like, he's a strange one, and then he's like, I want to see you laugh. Stay strong. And you're like, oh my god, that's so fucking adorable. That's so cute. Damn it, weirdo! What are you doing to me? I looked up with a blank expression on my face. Okazaki was grinning. That would have made me grin. I would have been like, you're so cute. Because I would literally... Thanks. Do you suspect me? Don't reply to him. We were supposed to say thanks. It must have made him worry. Maybe him texting as opposed to saying it directly was his way of showing that he cared. The thought made me feel warm inside, so I typed out a heartfelt reply. Thank you. That's my heart. I'm just laughing. I typed out a heartfelt reply. Thanks, yo. Like, he replied immediately. You're welcome. I couldn't stifle a giggle. It seemed unlike Okazaki to use an emoji in his message. Afterward, we continued texting while we were right beside each other. I'm hungry. What I should have for dinner? What should I have for dinner? God damn it, Tim. Learn to type English if you're going to translate. Are you eating at home? My brother likes hamburg. I prepared the base yesterday, and it's sitting in the refrigerator. Sounds good. I'll get hamburg too. Will you cook it yourself? Look at that space. I can't make that. I'll find a place. It was an odd feeling texting while we were right next to each other. I must say it was a lot of fun. The frivolous moments were enough to make me forget about all of the day's stress. Would you cook it for me one day? When he was like asking us to dinner, I was like, and she's like, oh, my brother, blah, blah. I'm like, if she's going to invite his ass over for dinner, I know it. I know it. When I looked up, Okazaki was waiting for me with an expectant expression. He's like, but look, and then he makes this face at you, and you're like, oh my God, he's so pretty and kind of adorable. You're like, aw, of course I'll cook it for you. Wait, whoa, what are you doing to me? Like, maybe if there's time. Yay! Looking forward to it. Yay! I don't like these emojis, because it's like, dude, nobody uses, like, could we have, like, I'm like, I know I'm like the old school, like, text person who, like, you literally, like, A, B, C. Okay, wait for a few minutes. Okay, now A. And it took me, like, an hour. You gotta press the buttons, like, 30 times in order to get, like, I mean, okay, like, legit. No, there were no QWERTY keyboards and fucking shit. That's a lie. The first cell phone I ever texted with, I was like, fuck that, I'm getting one of those flippy ones where I can just pop it up and now I got the keyboard, you know. But, like, most phones were, like, flip phones, and you were like, oh my God, look, I think I text. And the only game you had on your phone was that snake game where you just, you know, like, legit. Oh my God, I'm fucking old. But, like, and this is, like, the emojis from that day, okay? And this is, like, way too, I'm like, yo, no, never, no. Colon, semicolon, parenthesis, like, bracket, smiley face. Simple smiley or winky faces, man. That's it. Simple shit. Or like the P for you tug out, or a D for like super happy. You know what I mean? This is it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, yo. None of this shit. So this, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, obviously the first one, yeah. Like, but this, what the I can't even figure out what this is supposed to fucking be. I don't know. These emojis are freaking me out because, like, I can't figure them out. What kind of gay-ass phones do they have that they don't have, like, real fucking emojis? Or, like, Bitmoji. I want to see them texting with Bitmojis, like, cartoon versions of the cartoon versions of them. You know what I'm saying? Great. Anyway. But yay! Looking forward to it. Yay! He yayed us. That's fucking adorable. What is wrong? I didn't say I would, though. While exchanging carefree messages, our eyes met and we smiled. This is so relaxing. I felt better when I was with Okazaki. I also realized that I could smile naturally. The moments lazily passed, and I embraced their comfort. And the driver's probably like, the fuck? Because they're in a cab, you know. Finally, the approval to perform an interview came down. Okada was pale. Before we could introduce ourselves, he leaned in and started speaking. I'm innocent. It was self-defense. There are witnesses who can back me up. So why is it taking so long for this to go to trial? That's... Even you people should understand. If you don't recognize the legitimacy of my case, the police are going to make a big mistake again. He must have been referring to his mistaken arrest in the past. In May, Ogata was marked as a suspect because the police had thought that he was acting out of revenge for his prior mistaken arrest. Then he was at the center of an incident in July. Now he was here in jail. Calm down. We came here to ask you some questions. But it's like funny because Okazaki has this derp look. Doesn't he look like totally innocuous? Like, and this is what worries me. Like, he looks so like, this look on his face like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, he just looks so innocent and docile and useless. There's something about the look on his face that just literally makes him look like he couldn't do a damn thing. Like, if you go to try to stab me, oh, stop. You know, like he couldn't, but yet he's like, motherfucking ninja, right? So it's like, that's why I'm a little suspicious. Like, because he just has, he doesn't look tough, but he's fucking tough. He doesn't look like it. You underestimate him is what it is. He's got this something about, like, the whole act is like, yeah, no, I just kind of, yeah, sure. I will fucking straight up murder you. And it's like, he could be the fucking leader of the fucking Adonis, and you'd be like, you know, we should have seen that coming, because he totally, like, looks so the opposite. That's why I feel like he's hiding something. You know what I mean? Anyway. Calm down. Okay, we already about that. Anyway. Okazaki spoke to Ogata in a calm voice. So you say it was self-defense. You stabbed the victim directly in the heart. Were you trained to do that? I don't know what you're talking about. This was just by accident. It was completely random that I got him in the heart after I took the knife from him. Ogata boldly spat out a retort while glaring at Okazaki. But it was easy to pick up on the quivering in his voice. Don't you think if you were trying to play innocent, you'd be like, I don't know, it was an accident that I stabbed him in the heart. I mean, I was trying to protect her and I didn't mean to kill him. I feel awful that I killed him. And, like, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, I was just an accident and I stabbed him in the heart, you motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? You'd look better if you were like, I can't even believe it. I mean, it was a lucky strike, but unlucky because, like, now the man's dead and I just wanted to stop him. He should be in jail, not me. He shouldn't be dead. I'm a horrible human. Like, you know what I mean? Just to make people be like, oh my God, this poor person. Oh, right? That's all I'm saying. This is why I will like, I mean, seriously. I couldn't. If it was legit me, they'd be like, you did it on purpose, didn't you? No. They'd be like, she's so fucking guilty. Yeah. Because I can't lie for shit. I'm terrible at lying. I can't even go. Okay. I feel like I'm going to get arrested going through the airport because I feel like I look guilty because I feel guilty and I didn't do anything. But I feel like airport security, like, is so, like, fucking crazy now that when I go, I'm like, oh God, they're gonna pull me out. They're gonna think I've had, like, drugs or murder weapons or something. Oh, I feel like I look guilty because I'm a paranoid that's not, like, I'm afraid. It makes me nervous, so I feel like I look guilty. Which makes me feel worse, because then you're like, oh, I look guilty. Oh my God. And then it just exponentially worse. It's like, seriously. Anyway. Plus, they change every single time. Like, one time you go through and they're like, you need to have your boarding pass and your ID on you as you're going through the little body scanner thing. And then the next time they're like, what the fuck do you have that for? And you're like, I don't know what the fuck you didn't do. What? The hell? What the fuck is on your body? Tattoos, bitch. Jesus. Like, get over it. Like, they're like, they're mean, man. Like, God, most of them aren't nice. They're kind of bitchy. It's like, Jesus. Explain your rules clearly. Anyway, it was easy to pick up on the quivering in his voice. A coincidence, you say? It's possible. So you just happen to be passing by, just happen to pick up Shimizu's knife, and just happen to stab him in the heart with one shot. I mean, let's face it, that does sound way convenient. And if that was actually what happened, you'd be like, I mean, it sounds like bullshit, but what are you getting at? Okada was clearly irritated by Okazaki's unflinching calm. Are you trying to say that I killed that man on purpose? That means you must be working from the assumption that I provoked the stalker into attacking so that I could kill him in self-defense. Then what's my relationship to Shimizu? My motive? Where's your proof that I'm connected to these X-Day murders? You know, you're jumping the gun. We're asking just a simple question. Seeing that we didn't have any answers, Ogata smiled triumphantly. See, you've got nothing. You cops are treating me like a criminal for being that woman's hero. It was the same back in May. They just assumed that I must have killed those cops out of revenge for arresting me before. We know that I've got a rock-solid alibi. I was traveling overseas at the time. That's right. You couldn't possibly have committed the crime. Psh, changing your tune? That's how you dirty cops should be. How many people do you think have gotten hurt by your sloppy investigations? The police will never find the truth. Not while you only think of meeting your quotas by trampling on victims and coercing confessions. I bet those X-Day crimes have been still going on while I've been locked up in here. Why don't you try solving those? I had no retort for that. The truth was that the X-Day crimes were ongoing and the body count continued to pile up. Even while I'm here now, somebody could be... When I gripped my knees in frustration, Okazaki put his hand on mine. When I looked up, Okazaki was staring straight at Ogata. It felt like the warmth of Okazaki's hand was calming me down. But it makes sense that you'd suspect me. Huh? Suddenly, Ogata leaned back in his chair, adopting a confident smile. For a man in jail guilty of murder, he's being so confident about... You know what I'm saying? It's shady. I must say, I am grateful to Adonis. After all, they've shown the world just how corrupt you police are. I agree with the way they think. They're taking justice into their own hands. His smile disappeared, and he folded his hands. I was living an utterly dull life. I had a family, a job, and a place to go home to. It was a normal, happy life. You said it was utterly dull. Pick one. Is it dull or happy? But one day, my normal was completely obliterated. A deep, stern, hollow voice emanated from Ogata's lips. 2 years ago, should have been a day just like any other. On the way to work, I stepped in to break up a fight with nothing but good intentions. I didn't do anything. I was just leading a normal life. But Ogata regained some of his composure and looked into her eyes. It was the same in May this year. I did nothing wrong, but once again they treated me like a criminal. And in July, all I did was try to help a woman, but my actions of defense have gotten twisted into an assault. You'll never learn. No matter how often it happens, you paint people guilty because you've predetermined their guilt. Which would make it the perfect crime, because it'd be like, oh, we can't accuse him. We already accused him twice and make him look bad. So, no, good job protecting that woman. He's a hero, and he's actually a murderer, right? I'm just saying. That's exactly what they were hoping. You know what I mean? Okada's words cut straight to my heart. Truthfully, I couldn't deny that there were problems in the police force. Can you imagine it? The pain of losing your entire world in a moment? Trust, honor, love, hope, everything. Everyone, everywhere looks at me like I'm some kind of dirty criminal. But you are now. My wife and child left me after I'd been branded a criminal. I mean, that's a shitty wife, though. I mean, she should have stood by you. Because, like, you legitimately didn't do anything at the time. So, the company I'd worked for ages treated me like a tumor. I've been excised from all of society. Every sign that I existed is gone. Which makes it sound all the more like you killed someone on purpose. I'm just saying you're not helping your case. I couldn't say anything. I was touched by Ogata's tragedy, and I didn't think it could all be lies. Despite his constant brushes with the X-Day crimes, the first mistaken arrest must have... I was sure that he just wanted to live a peaceful life at some point. There are many more like me, people who've had their lives ruined by the police, whose hatred burns and who view Adonis as just. I've done nothing wrong. The day will come when my actions are finally recognized as just. With that, Ogata shut his mouth. We wouldn't get any more out of him. Okazaki also made to leave the room, but then, I can't understand the way you feel at all, he murmured. But can I ask you one last question? He looked at Ogata with lonely eyes. You'd gone through quite the ordeal, all because you were just trying to stop a fight. And then you did the exact same thing again. Woman in danger aside, why did you choose to step into another altercation? Ogata answered Okazaki's question with wordless silence. For justice. Then he uttered that short phrase in an expressionless voice. Ogata had nothing to say after that. We left the detention center. On the way back, Okazaki mumbled. We couldn't get anything new out of him. Yeah, but it's a chance to get our bearings. Ogata had approved of Adonis because he believed the police had committed wrongs. Then surely Sugawara also bore the same animosity. Animosity for the police. She was likely to sympathize with Adonis, too. So it really wasn't a mere coincidence that Ogata stepped in that time. Somehow he made it happen deliberately. Yeah, there are too many coincidences. We should assume that this was all planned out. That means in this incident... Yes, they're accomplices, yes. If it was a planned killing, then neither of them could be overlooked. What if what if Sugawara asked Ogata to commit the murder? That's what I've been thinking too. And the plan doesn't work without her involvement. To provoke Shimizu, Sugawara just had to lead him to the scene of the crime. Ogata didn't know him, so he couldn't provoke him. Plenty of witnesses saw Shimizu chasing Sugawara that day. Ogata was implicated in previous incidents, so the risk of him killing someone would be too high. No matter how much he insists it was self-defense, there would be harsh consequences for him. Normally, someone in that situation would want to avoid fighting, never mind killing someone. Which means Ogata went that far. Ogata and Sugawara were lovers? No, Ogata went that far. What if, in the heat of the moment, Ogata just decided to go that far? What do you mean? One of the officers killed in May mistakenly arrested Ogata in the past. It completely ruined his life. According to his own words, it was reasonable for someone in his shoes to consider revenge, right? So shouldn't we consider Ogata the true culprit in May? Wait, that's impossible. He had an alibi, remember? Yes, that's why... Could it possibly be a substitute murder? A substitute murder? Okazaki was surprised, but he nodded. His alibi of traveling overseas is ironclad. But looking at it another way, it's so watertight that it looks prepared. In May, someone acted on Ogata's behalf, and then Ogata repaid that debt by acting in July? Yeah, that explanation ties up all the loose ends. In contrast with the vindicated look on Okazaki's face, my own thoughts were hazy. If they were substitute murders, the motive for the July murder would be revenge for Sugawara. And if Ogata and Sugawara were somehow connected, Sugawara could have committed a crime on someone else's behalf. If all of the X-Day crimes are substitute murders, then I wonder about the other months. They were crimes carried out by Adonis, and that meant there could have been a different agent committing the murders each month. Every suspect in the X-Day crimes thus far had unnaturally perfect alibis. It was likely that each crime had been committed by a proxy who wouldn't have any direct motive. But the scale is just too massive. Even if we chase down the lead for one crime, it'd be very difficult to nail down proof. I'm getting a headache. My brain was fried from the information overload. A hand landed gently on my head, followed by a sigh. We should leave the rest to investigations. This is too much for the two of us to unravel. As he patted me on the head, my anxiety slowly faded. What's your duty? To protect the safety of Shinjuku's residents. Right, so it is. You remembered. Good, good. With a satisfied smile, Okazaki removed his hand from my head. The warmth vanished too, leaving me feeling slightly alone. Thank you, Okazaki. I didn't do anything, though. He always found a way to bring me back to reality, just like he did when I had panicked at the scene of the fire. He considered the things that were important to me as if they were important to him, too. All he does is help me. I felt guilty about it, but it also filled me with renewed resolve. Yes, my true duty as a police officer was to ensure the safety of the public, and to listen to what was in their hearts. I didn't intend to ignore the caller in the X-Day investigation, but this was a goal that I couldn't push to the background. Sugawara. If the X-Day crimes were planned substitute murders, then she had to be involved. But this all had spawned from police arrogance. I couldn't ignore that inconvenient truth. The police should have protected her from Shimizu. If they had, she never would have fallen this far. I'm going to see Rika Sugawara once more. Huh? Why? Okazaki's reaction made it clear that he didn't agree with this course of action. And that chance that she's involved with this crime is rather high. I think I can persuade her before the detectives catch up to her. We were running out of time. If she confessed, her sentence would be lighter. There's still a chance. If there was no evidence she'd acted on her own, she could have been threatened by Adonis. When I brought it up to Okazaki, he thought silently for a moment. As a police officer, that's really not something you should be doing. Huh? When I looked up, Okazaki wasn't smiling. He was looking at me coolly. You'd be contacting a likely criminal and clouding up an investigation of a case you're not on. This is basically aiding and abetting. This won't end with your secret investigation. If this blows over, you'll get fired at best. At worst, you get locked up alongside her. Th- that's. But if I can just convince her to confess and turn herself in. You think that Rika Sugawara got involved in the first place because of the police, right? Yes? I know how you feel. It hurts to know that the police messed this up. But the problem isn't what happens if you just apologize on behalf of the police. Even if there were extenuating circumstances, we cops don't hand out judgment. That. I know that, but. The police are full of scandals wrongful arrests, false charges, bribery. The smaller the get, the more you find. Of course, we should do what we can to reduce them, but if you get fixated on them, you can't function as a police officer. The police are an organization that protects. But sacrifices have to be made to do that. It's absolutely impossible to protect everybody. If you choose to prioritize protecting everyone, then you'll just end up failing to save people you should have saved. All people have their roles. If you decide that yours is to protect, then there are lines you can't cross. I couldn't think of a reply to Okazaki's coolly made points. What he was saying was logical. It was the correct mindset for a police officer. My thinking was naive and irrational. Oh, because we're a woman. I mean, seriously, come on. Okazaki is saying this for my sake. I understood that well enough. I didn't think that he was being cold. But what was this? I feel detached. The idea that small sacrifices had to be made. Hesitation towards one's own duty. Killing one's ego to be part of a larger purpose. As I was moved by his unwavering conviction, I also felt a distance open up between us. My voice caught in my dry throat, but I had to say what I was thinking. If if the police ever hurt me or anyone close to me, I don't know what I'd do. Okazaki was silent for a while. He seemed to be sizing me up. I was afraid that I'd disappointed him. Yeah, that's normal. No one could take that lying down. But Okazaki returned to his usual smile. You're a kind and straightforward girl. Your ability to think of others' pain as your own really isn't a bad trait. Okazaki, but Spacey, don't forget your main duty. The time will come when you have to decide what you need to let go of in order to get what you actually wish for. Yeah, he really he really had said those things solely out of concern for me. Knowing that, I couldn't simply reject his words. But I also couldn't accept them right now. Okazaki, you're strong. The words leaked out as I thought how weak I was. Okazaki's eyes went wide in surprise. I'm not strong. I just can't handle a lot because I'm weak. Then he mumbled something sadly. I recalled a conversation we had before. That's what I should be protecting. Something special, precious, a heavy burden, something that's irreplaceable. He became heartless for that which he protected. He had that determination. What about me? I imagined a pain coming from my neck. The color under my scarf weighed on my mind. I wanted it gone. I wanted to solve the cases. I wanted to protect people from harm as a cop. They were all my goals. I hadn't prioritized any over the others. But there'd come a time when I had to choose. Could I really make that choice? Man, it's late already. I'll take you home. It's getting dark. Thank you. The usual smile and the usual words. It was like nothing had changed. I thought I'd gotten closer to his heart, and then I feel like I'd moved even further away. I felt that it had moved even further away. Sorry. This is like an awkward place. Kind of. Well, okay, it's not really an awkward place. This is the perfect place to stop, even though it's a little under the normal amount of time. Um, we're also getting to another bad ending, so interesting. Hold on. I gotta scroll back anyway. But yeah, anyway, so the next day, we're gonna see what happens the next day. The next day, so tomorrow. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.